Flavio Hlabangwane returns to the High Court sitting in Palm Ridge for his murder trial. The 28-year-old was arrested in November 2021 after body parts were found in his fridge in Soweto. Earlier this week, he pleaded guilty to murder, violating a corpse and defeating the ends of justice. But the state rejected the murder plea. Our reporter Tshegohaco Moagi is in court ahead of the proceedings. I suppose the million-dollar question is, why was that plea rejected? What do we know?
Well, good morning to you, Hugo. So on Monday, Flavio Hlabangwane pleading guilty to murder, as you've mentioned, violating a corpse and defeating the ends of justice. The state then rejecting that murder plea, mainly because it would serve a lesser sentence. According to the Criminal Law Amendment Act, Flavio Hlabangwane could get about 15 years of a sentence, minimum sentence, if the state had taken on that murder plea. However, they rejected that murder plea, and so now going for looking into the relationship between Flavio Hlabangwane and the victim, the deceased in this matter, Tshegohaco, and really looking into, the abuse allegations that were there, but also now looking for a premeditated murder charge, and this could mean that he could serve life imprisonment according to the Criminal Law Amendment Act of 1999. So that's why the state then rejecting that plea and saying that he does deserve more than 15 years in prison for what he has allegedly done to Tshegohaco. We do know that there was a witness on Tuesday, Hugo, who testified about the relationship between Flavio Hlabangwane and Tshegohaco, and she has detailed quite dramatically and quite gruesomely the relationship and the alleged abuse that actually took place. But before she actually testified, the state bringing forth that it would be hearsay evidence, that this witness would be testifying on what she was told by Tshegohaco, and the defense then saying that they cannot allow this to be admissible. The judge then decides, saying that he will make a decision closer to the sentencing when he looks through all the documentation and all the evidence that is brought before him, whether or not this hearsay evidence will then be admissible in court. That witness, Hugo, really speaking about how Flavio Hlabangwane allegedly cut Tshegohaco's hair after she went to her friend, who is this witness that is testifying, and told her about some of the abuse that she faced, telling her that Flavio Hlabangwane allegedly beat her up on numerous occasions. And in a phone call then, on the following day, it was then heard by the witness and the witness's roommate at the time, Flavio Hlabangwane, telling Tshegohaco that it's either she comes back home or else, and she must then choose whether he scars her face or he actually cuts her hair. And later that evening, she then sent a message to her friend, Tshegohaco, messaging her friend, who is the witness in this case, that her hair had indeed been cut by Flavio Hlabangwane. So that's just parts of the relationship that we are told, and the kind of relationship that they actually had. And Flavio Hlabangwane on Monday, in a statement, actually giving details of what transpired on that fateful day when Tshegohaco was killed. He's also told the court, Hugo, that he does not remember when exactly this incident took place, be it the 6th of October, between the 6th of October and the 13th of November. And he just says that, the incident did happen. They had an argument, and he pushed her, she fell, and she hit her head at the corner of a stove. He took a knife, and then he stabbed her in the neck, and from there he then proceeded to dismember her body. You'd remember that there were body parts that were found in his fridge, and he told the court that he then drove out that day and hid her head. He buried her head and her torso. I remember, Hugo, last year when the family went to fetch the remains of Tshegohaco, they were told where the head was actually buried, and they did a ritual there as well before they proceeded to the funeral service of Tshegohaco. The trial continues today with the witness once again taking the stand, a witness that cannot be identified at this stage.
So those are very, very chilling details of what transpired in that absolutely gruesome murder. Do we expect this trial to go on for a long time, considering that he's already admitted guilt in the various charges that have been leveled against him?
Well, Hugo, this trial was actually set down until tomorrow, the 27th of January. But the state has said that the state has said rather to us that this trial will not take too long. They are hoping to wrap up as soon as possible. However, today that witness is still going to be testified and then cross-examined by the defense team. Ms. Ndlovu will then be cross-examining the witness in this trial. And so the state really saying that they are hoping that it will not take too long. However, you never know with trials. It has been set down until tomorrow, and it might wrap up either this afternoon or tomorrow morning, depending on how long the cross-examination, of course, takes from the defense team.
Our reporter Tshegohaco coming to us from the High Court in Palm Ridge. We'll be keeping up to date on trial there.